right, today I'm joined by somebody across the pond who's very mysterious with the name Murky Meg. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
I'm doing well. Now, I have to say, though, you give me a challenge right out the gate.
Okay.
How do I refer to you? Do I say,
Uh,
hey, Murky, how you doing? Or, hey,
that
Meg, and you're not a fan, so being called that, I don't know if that's fun either. So what
no.
do I call you?
A lot of people just refer to me as Murky.
Murky. Okay. Well, Murky, it's fantastic to have you here.
Thank you.
And I'd love to talk to you how you got into YouTube, the whole Megxit thing, whatever that is.
Yeah.
And later on, we'll be discussing a particular gentleman named Mr. Bouzy.
Oh, I was going to say, who are you going to be referring to there? But I think we all know. Okay, so I started my channel because I was on Twitter, and I had a reasonably large following, and I really am very pro royal. And there were lots of rumblings about a certain royal that wasn't behaving very well. And as my Twitter handle grew, and it was actually, I was chewing my husband's ear off, going, oh, I really don't like this person. And and she was all over the news. And I was going, "Rah, rah, 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 rah." And I thought, do you know what? I'm going to try and put a video out there and see what happens. And I literally just put like the most basic video ever of, just an anti Meghan Markle channel or a pro royalist channel.
Mhm.
And it went down really well. And then I did another video and another video, and it just kind of steamrolled from there. Now, you must know how long it takes to build up a channel and how long it takes to
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
get your channel monetized. It can take a very long time if you are
Mhm.
brand new to it. It took me 6 weeks,
Ooh,
which, yeah, was quite,
that's very fast. Very,
yeah,
very fast.
and I just
Out the
grew.
gate, it's extremely fast.
Yeah, I've
Somebody who's
never,
known, it's
yeah,
not as, but yes.
no, exactly. It helped that I had a large following on Twitter,
Oh,
and I
yeah.
was able to kind of funnel that in. And it just grew and grew and grew. And I am very close to 100,000 subs now. So very proud of the achievement that I've done.
That's a big deal. And by the way, is your husband the number one fan of your channel because you may not be bending his ear quite as much?
Well, he's actually part of the team now. So
Oh, okay.
he's my editor.
Okay, well, so he didn't
I'm keeping
completely
it in the
escape it.
family.
I know my wife is kind of like, go talk to your pod
Yeah.
streaming friends. Go,
He
go.
knows. He knows if I've got something to talk about, he just goes, "Oh, for goodness' sake, just go and do a video and just get it out because you're just going to fizz otherwise." And I will sit there and fizz and fizz and fizz and fizz until I've got it out and I've said what I've said and put it up on YouTube, and then I can finally go and relax.
All right. So when did you start then? Was it 2020,
I
2021?
started in June 2019.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you've been around for a minute.
Mm, yeah.
You started before me. I started in January 2020.
Well, there
Had
you go.
nothing to do with Megan, whatever, Harry. But that's very interesting. So you were pre-Oprah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Very much so. I started just before. It was just as I think just after Archie's birth. That's when I started. So
Okay.
I had all of them exit. Them moving away from the royal family. That's when my channel really started to take off. And I was getting about 500,000 views a day,
Wow.
which was huge.
Yeah, no, those are very real numbers, especially if you're
Yeah,
monetized. It's very
yeah.
comfortable.
I'm actually very close to hitting 30 million overall views. So again, I am very proud of that.
Yes, you should be. By the way, your subscriber count doesn't match your view count. So
Mm,
your view count is closer to a channel with almost 500,000, possibly.
really?
If you look at the ratios, no, that's you're outperforming your subscriber count by a large margin, which is
Wow.
amazing. And don't feel bad if you're ever going to be backward. Be
Oh,
that way.
I would rather have the views, to
Yeah,
be perfectly
views
honest. Subs are
for sure.
amazing, but it's the views that count.
Definitely,
I'm
definitely.
very
So
proud of that fact.
as you should be. Wow, incredible. Okay,
Mm.
so you got to start it with that,
Mm.
and you're doing great. You've got a channel. You've got a nice
Yep.
audience.
Yeah.
Very, very niche down. Very specific subject.
Yep.
Doing your thing, minding your own business, and
Hmm.
I guess someone took notice of you.
Quite a lot of people took notice of me. Pre-Bouzy, I knew that there was going to be an element of attacks by the very pro Meghan Markle crowd, and they are loud. And it's constant. I've been doxxed. I've had my children's pictures put all over the internet.
Mm,
I've had my full address put over the internet. I've had emails with a Google Earth image of my home sent to me to try and shut me up. I've had threats to paper my neighborhood with exactly what a horrible human being I am. So, yeah, I knew I was going to get hate. And then somebody decided to jump on the Meghan Markle campaign, and that would be Mr. Bouzy.
I'm wanting to ask you of a term that I've heard,
Mhm.
and hopefully you can define it, but they're
I can
known
try.
as the sugars.
Haha. Okay, so nobody really knows why they're called sugars, but that's what they were kind of coined as. It's the sugars, but predominantly they are the Sussex Squad, and they are proud, and they call themselves the Sussex Squad. They even have a YouTube channel called the Sussex Squad Podcast, and yeah, it is. They are a strong group, and they are loud, and they certainly make it known that they really don't like what we do.
Okay, and I wanted to put it out there because I keep hearing from a lot of people, and keep in mind I'm a dumb American. I
No,
don't
you're not.
follow the inner workings of the royal family that much. I mean, I am catching up though. I'm watching The Crown, so I'll know everything, right?
Oh, that's a contentious. That one
I
is
know, I know, I know.
yeah.
Okay, but I want to make sure that the name gets out there and the definition, etc. So I read
Yeah,
somewhere that it's because everything dealing with them is too sweet. It's like
yeah. I
sugar.
think nobody can really give a kind of definite answer of why they're called sugars, but I think it's like you know bees around a honey pot, and kind of they swarm, and sugar and stuff like that. But actually, I haven't heard the term sugar in a long, long time. It's normally predominantly now the Sussex Squad
Okay.
because they've
Now,
coined
interestingly, now you've got Christopher Bouzy coming in. Now, Christopher Bouzy has a long history before Bot Sentinel.
that. Yes,
Apparently, he's been involved with crypto
apparently
uh,
so.
with questionable results. I'll just say that.
Yes,
He ran a dating site that
this was news to me.
maybe, shall we say, had more of a guarantee than normal, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, we nudge nudge.
Um, and he came into the scene, and I forgot the date of the first report. His first report was actually on Project Veritas.
Oh,
And it's very interesting. This is some inside baseball because the lawyer who is representing Nate the lawyer is Ron
hmm.
Coleman, who works for Harmeet Dillon, who represents Project Veritas.
Now that's interesting.
So we have a little bit of a family going. It's nice.
Ah,
It's
full
warm. It's fuzzy.
circle.
Yes, we can have a campfire, and tell tales, all this good stuff. But
I believe you call them schmores. Is that right? We don't have them in this country.
s'mores, yes,
Yeah, we don't
s'mores.
have schmores.
Yep, yep,
Missing out.
definitely. But well, and there's definitely a lot of marshmallows melting. Anyway, we went to Boozy, came in and very quickly pivoted. Now I know it was a huge Hillary Clinton fan
Yep.
and bragged about going after Bernie Sanders people.
Yes.
So I'm kind of catching up on the history here. He is also a major Kamala Harris fan, And
Yes.
there's a group called K-Hive. I think these patterns are very important because K-Hive seems similar to Sussex Squad in the
Yeah.
sense of a Twitter mafia,
Mm-hmm.
if you will, and has created this company, Bot Sentinel,
Yes.
which, in my opinion, is for the sole purpose of bullying accounts who are against whomever he's representing or
Yes.
chooses to protect. And I come by this, I feel, fairly, because when I look up accounts such as Michael Malice, who is a admitted, and that's putting it lightly, troll
Mm-hmm.
on Twitter, like as in that's what he does.
Yeah.
He says that's who
There
he
are
is.
professional trolls out there.
Correct. And his account comes up as normal, or it did. That is telling me something, because he, by his very nature, is, quote, disruptive. So him and
Yeah,
other
that doesn't
accounts,
seem fair, does it?
right? Well, I would think a flamethrower would show up as a flamethrower, but
Yep.
they don't. And there seems to be only specific requirements for people to show up poorly in an account, and that is if they are against people he likes. Now,
Yeah.
Meghan Markle is someone he seems to hold in high esteem.
Absolutely. Yeah, very much so. It seems that he got on the train of the attacking the critical Meghan Markle accounts, and he's stuck with it, and he's got his teeth into it. And a lot of the Sussex Squad have been donating to Bot Sentinel, and he has thanked them.
Okay, so he is potentially being funded by them.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There has been, if you look through his Twitter, he has thanked the Sussex Squad. There has been a Sussex Squad fundraiser for Bot Sentinel.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay, so I know he has also worked for the Amber Heard PR team. I think he's done some work for Elon Musk, interestingly.
I didn't know that.
Don't know for sure. Again, think allegedly. So we'll just throw those words around to cover.
Yeah, allegedly.
But they'll come out in court.
Oh, yeah,
Things will come
absolutely.
out in
This is
court,
what I
so-
can't wait for.
That's the point of the case. So
Yes.
a lot of this will be no longer alleged. It'll be
Mm.
accusations or charges, I'm sure, once
Mhm.
they're refined and clear.
Yes.
So he comes out with these reports,
Yes.
and it appears that the Meghan Markle Prince Harry reports are the majority. I think there's 3 of them.
There were 3, and I was in all 3.
Congratulations.
Woohoo! What award do I get?
The Bot Sentinel account of the year?
The Doozy Boozy.
The doozy. Oh, that is a doozy. Don't be too choosy, though. You never know what you wind up with. Okay, so is that when you or he came on your radar?
You know what? I've been trying to think about this. So his first report came out in, I believe it was
October 2021?
Yeah. Yes, it was. And it was the Twitter account, it was Twitter hate accounts. So he listed the Twitter hate accounts, and there were 3 predominant ones that he listed, which was myself, according to Taz, and Yankee Wally. And then he basically piled on and said that these Twitter accounts are single purpose hate accounts. But before the report came out, I kind of knew about him because he was chuntering away in the background, but I didn't really pay much attention. I just blocked him. And it wasn't until the report dropped that he really got my attention. And for me, I've always remained with the mantra, funny because I do a pro-royal family channel, never explain, never complain. If you give him attention, that's what he craves. So I literally just ignored him completely. I didn't let it make him realize that he affected me one bit, because he wants attention at the end of the day. That's all Christopher Bouzy wants, is attention.
True. Unfortunately, he did affect you, though.
He did. Yeah. I lost my Twitter account, and I had a very healthy Twitter account. It had almost 40,000 followers, and I was verified. So, big deal. I was very proud of that. And then, about a month before the first report came out, it got taken down, shut down completely. I never got rhyme or reason. I was never told why I was shut down. I was never given a reason. I had never received a single violation. I'd never been in Twitter jail. Nothing. It just got wiped off the face of the earth.
No letter from them?
No, nothing. Didn't even get an email. I
Hmm.
appealed and I never heard back. I've sent in probably about 15 appeals now, gone. There are wild speculations about why it was lost. I think what had happened is a couple of days before my Twitter account was taken down, it was the Time magazine where Harry and Meghan were on the front cover.
Mhm.
I did a reface with Harry singing I Want to Break Free, and his lips were moving. And it got a lot of retweets. And unfortunately, the owner of Time magazine retweeted it. So I think that's why I got put on the radar. And I think people higher up went, no, that's not on, and pulled my account. I think somebody intervened because I literally had no time in Twitter jail. There was nothing. I woke up literally on a Saturday morning to it being gone.
Hmm.
And I never got it back.
I'm wondering if you could sue to find out.
It's really hard to sue in the UK. You
Hmm.
need like a lot. I mean, as I see it, America, it doesn't take a lot to get a lawyer to send like a cease and desist.
Mhm.
Here, I tried to get a cease and desist one particular time, and I was quoted sort of $5,000.
I want, okay, and I don't know, this is me just throwing things out there, but I wonder if there's a GDPR angle that you could go
Yeah,
after
possibly.
Twitter and say, my account, I don't know what you're doing with my data. Prove the
Mm.
status of my account.
Yeah, that actually might be quite a good idea. That's something that I could look into.
And I think that that's just general public forms that are already built in law. And maybe, and I don't know, with Steph, the ultra nerd, I hope she sees this. She might
I hope so
be able to
too.
advise too, or Black Belt Bannister, one of those. Um,
The thing is,
it's a different angle.
I had a lot of people follow me, and I had a lot of royal reporters follow me. I had like royal reporters from around the world follow me too, because I was constantly uploading the latest information. I would trawl worldwide news, and it would be up to date information
And you get
on.
tips, I'm sure, too. So it had to hurt.
Yeah, absolutely. But it just went gone,
Hmm. Yeah, that seems a little suspect.
doesn't it? Just.
Yeah.
And then a month later, the report comes out about the Twitter accounts being hateful and the long list of them.
Yeah, and I think you and out of the three you mentioned, two are gone, aren't they?
Yeah, on Twitter, yeah, Yankee Wally and myself.
Interesting.
And it's, according to Taz, that's still standing.
Wow. Very interesting.
Isn't
So
it?
almost like during the study of the
She's
report.
doing very well on Twitter.
Good. I want
Yeah,
everybody to
exactly.
do well. Believe it or not, I even want the sugars to do well, or whatever they are. I don't like cancellation.
No,
It's
I don't
against my
either.
nature.
No,
That's all.
exactly. I think it's. I just didn't know what had happened, and to this day I still don't know.
Very interesting. Wow.
Mm.
And so, have you had anything come out of what has been done to you? I mean, have the police acted on your behalf? I mean, if you're being doxxed and things like that,
Yeah, I had
that's
to involve
violating
the police.
Twitter terms of service, and at a minimum.
Yeah, there was a particular account that accused me of murdering my mother-in-law.
Good
Um,
Lord.
yeah, that accused me of all sorts, and I had to get the police involved in that. I also had to get the police involved with the doxing situation. They basically said it was encrypted, and there was nothing much that they could do. But what they did was they left the case open. Should something happen, they said they cannot physically do anything unless somebody comes onto my property.
Great.
So I got security. I got cameras everywhere. So that's what I did. So I increased my security, and yeah,
At a
that's as
cost,
far as the police
obviously.
in the UK go with doxing. It is a civil matter. And because it was over Twitter, they said that it's likely that they were going to be using a VPN and that they really couldn't do it. It was a waste of police resources.
Have you contacted Twitter to, the
Multiple
safety
times.
or whatever they call it?
Yeah, they did nothing. Oh, they took the tweet down that doxed me. My full address was up. Well, actually, my previous address. I moved. So,
Well, good. I'm glad.
yeah, no, they don't know my address now.
Okay,
It was scary.
Oh, wait, I can imagine, and I want people to understand this, that there are actually real stakes involved that go beyond online spats.
I understand that, and a lot of people, I'm no fool. A lot of people says, well, will say you've put yourself out there. You do what you do. You are critical of Meghan Markle, so therefore you should expect it back. Fair play, I say. I'm critical of somebody, so I knew that there was going to be an element of hate coming my way, but leave kids out of it. That's the thing that got me, was putting my children's photos all over the internet, and I didn't like that. Come at me by all means, but don't come at my kids.
You know what? That's a perfect note to end on, and I agree.
Yep.
We've got to keep in mind the discourse.
Yes.
Come at channels or whomever you don't like hard. Be very critical. All you want in the world.
Yeah.
But this should never cross into real life. It should never cross into doxing.
No.
It should never leave what I consider almost a professional realm. Like,
absolutely,
criticism for criticism, a 100%. You can call a creator anything you want, hateful, spiteful, wrong, dumb, whatever.
Yeah.
But responding in kind to their own discourse.
Yeah.
But keep it there.
Yeah.
And don't go for the families. Don't go beyond that. And everyone, check out Murky Meg.
Yes.
Let's see if we can have a Streisand effect for her.
Yes.
And
hopefully. And I'm looking forward to this this court case, because obviously I was featured predominantly heavily in his second report, where it was, my earnings were estimated, wildly estimated. And in fact, Christopher Bouzy actually put out a tweet in the middle of the UK night demanding that I prove my earnings to prove him wrong. Yeah.
Social Blade is wrong, folks. Trust me.
Yeah, you and I know as YouTubers, these estimates are wildly out.
I mean, there is a formula you can use that'll get you kind of close, but
yeah, but you need your clicks per mile to be able to do that. But it's still kind of, nobody knows what your CPM are. So it's only you as a content creator will actually know, and they really do vary, because they can go up and down of how many CPMs per 1,000 views that you get, and that's ultimately what you get when you're monetized. But no, he wildly estimated all three of our earnings. That was myself, according to Taz, and Yankee Wally. And when he was challenged by that, in the middle of the night, he demanded that we prove our earnings, not by screenshot, but by live screen sharing for a journalist with People magazine or Newsweek. In the middle of the night in the UK, and gave us half an hour to do it. And then went, look, they can't do it, they won't do it, they're unwilling, they won't apologize.
Well, that's part of the reason that we're tired of him, is he's being used as a source for these publications, and they need to check their sources.
Oh, well, that's the thing. They didn't. I mean, this second report he did about the YouTube earnings went worldwide. I was featured in many, many publications, and a lot of them had to retract when people started to say to them, why on earth are you relying on this report, which is completely unfounded? And they retracted them.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I will see about posting some of them here. Well, Murky.
Yes.
It kills me to say that, you know.
I'm used to it.
Okay, well, I mean, that's fine. It just seems like
It would be weird if you called me Meg, because that's actually not my name. So, but Murky, I'm used to everybody calling me Murky. So,
well, it's first, but then I figure calling you Meg, but you're not really a fan of Meg. So
no.
it's sort of like,
Just call me
yeah,
Meg.
that would be awkward, but I
Yes.
don't know. Either way, people can find you under Murky Meg on
Yeah,
YouTube.
Murky Meg. Yeah, come have a look. Come and subscribe if you want. Don't subscribe, but have a look. I am really fair and balanced, and I think I get a really bad rep because I try and stick to the facts, and I think that I get a lot of people coming going, "Oh my god, you're a hate channel! Oh my god, you're a hate channel!" But actually, if you looked at my videos, you'll realise that I'm just collating all the news and the data and just putting it out there. And the people, if there wasn't an appetite, I wouldn't do it.
It's true.
Mm?
Well, thank you very much.
Well, thank you
And
very much for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure.
thank you.
Okay.